Welcome to Unity on the Space Coast, everybody, where you're in for a treat today. We've got we got a whole slew of young teenagers playing with us and for us today, so hopefully you enjoy it.
Thanks,
and
Mike.
we'll announce them at the end of the service. So start us off there, Daniel.
All right. Well, come on. Come on and worship with us. Put your hands together. There you go. Well, come on. Come on and worship with us. You use your will and imagination and hop on our magic bus. Hey, we'll be driving through the heartland. We got a roadmap to the soul. Ooh, we got it driving through the heartland. We got a roadmap to the soul. Let Sweet Spirit be the driver, 'cause that's the way we roll. Ready? We're gonna sing. We're gonna pray. Yep, we're gonna sing. Pray every moment of the day. Well, come on. Come on and worship with us. You use your will and imagination and hop on our magic bus. Take it away, boys. Woo! We're gonna sing, we're gonna pray. You know, we're gonna sing, pray every moment of the day. Say, ooh, come on and worship with us. You use your will and imagination and hop on our magic bus. You use your will and imagination and hop on our magic bus. One more time. Ready? You use your will and imagination and hop on our magic bus. Ooh.
Michael, did you just like that this morning?
This morning?
Michael Triandafels, everyone. Eric Rivera and Daniel Dugan. Let's yay!
Way to go, guys.
We also have Maya Triandafels playing for us today on the piano. We are like crazy blessed today. Woohoo! Party down. Now, let's pray. Me and this thing's gonna have some interesting time all morning. Yeah. Woohoo! Oh, Mother, Father, God, we say thank you, thank you, thank you for this day and for this moment, for the opportunities that we have to come together today to celebrate, to pray, to support one another, and to send many, many blessings to our city, our state, our nation, and our world, seeing all of our consciousness being lifted today, and recognizing the truth of our being, that there is only one power in the universe and in our lives, God the good, omnipotent. And we give thanks for this in and after the nature of Jesus the Christ, and so it is. Amen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is so wonderful to see all of you here today, and all of you that are online today as well. I am Reverend Roxanne Graves. I'm the senior minister here at Unity on the Space Coast, and there is absolutely nowhere I would rather be than right here with you right now. So thank you, thank you, thank you for making that possible for me. Happy Sunday. So I'm going to turn it over to
birthdays?
Oh, thank you. Birthdays. Wow, it's the first Sunday of the month, right?
Yep.
So we have birthdays, and we got a whole slew of them, too. We have Dave Currier on the 5th, Anne Marie Slater, who is in New York, on the 11th. Hi, Anne Marie. Cindy Gooden on the 26th, Ralph Turner on the 27th, Shirley on the 29th, and Reverend Linda Tuttle on the 29th as well.
Hi, Ma.
Let's sing happy birthday to all. Oh, do you have a birthday?
Who?
Paula. The 27th, Quincy, the 27th. Don't let me forget to put her on the list. Quincy,
Yay,
the 27th.
birthday,
Yay.
Very nice.
Awesome. She's going, no birthday. We want to celebrate with you, Quincy. All right, so let's sing happy birthday.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friends. Happy birthday to you. Yay!
All right.
We threw that at this young man just
At the very
10
end.
minutes ago.
Right. Did you guys notice the front and how clear it was when you came in? Did you guys notice that? Yes. I want to send special thanks to Marlene and Rick Horsey for doing that, for funding it, for making it happen. How wonderful is that? Our property is getting opened up so people can see us from the street. And we're getting prepared for that new sign.
Oh, my gosh.
That's coming, right? Yay. Thank you, thank you, thank you both very, very much. And we are getting really, really close on our fundraiser. So if you haven't had the opportunity to help us fundraise for that new sign, you can do that on our website, on the Facebook page, here in the building during the offering. Just make sure that you write on it that it's for the sign. We are getting very, very close. Marlene told me the other day, we're getting so close, you better tell them to get that sign ready. So tomorrow I make that call because we are getting that close. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Now on the 8th and the 9th of September, it's Unity World Day of Prayer. We're not going to hold anything here for World Day of Prayer like we normally would. We are going to participate in Unity Worldwide Ministries, unity.org, Unity World Headquarters, their World Day of Prayer. It is, you don't have to pay anything to participate, but you do need to register. So go out on unity.org and register for a Unity World Day of Prayer. I'd love to see as many of you there as possible. I know I'll be there. I'll be spending the majority of my time there praying. Now, in the meantime, we do have slips of paper over on the table that are prayer lists. Please fill out those prayer lists and leave them with us in the basket. Or if you are online, fill out an email to us, send it to us on the website or just office@Unity on the spacecoast.org. Give us your prayer list, and we will hold those people in prayer. We also send it to Unity. So during World Day of Prayer, Unity is holding them in prayer also. So just make a whole big list of everybody you know that you want special prayers for. Mine, I ended up having to write on the back, and then I just got a second piece of paper. So please, let us have those so that we can pray with you as well. All right. Now I'm going to turn you over to Mr. Horsey.
Yay.
I like that. Good morning. My name is Rick Horsey. I'm your ministerial associate today. Please join me in our statement of being, please. We are
the creative I Am, dedicating our lives to its full realization through compassion, inclusiveness, and joyous service.
Thank you. Now we're going to do our prayer for protection. Please follow me. Surrounds us.
The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Amen. Now stand and join us in our opening song, Stayed on Spirit.
All right. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I said I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah. You see, I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. I said I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah. Now I'm singing and praising with my mind stayed on spirit. I'm singing and praising with my mind stayed on spirit. I said I'm singing and praising with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I said I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah, hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah. One more time. Hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah. Everybody, hallelujah.
Please be seated.
Enough and perfect enough. That was awesome. That was just fantastic. Our daily word for the day is balance. We affirm with God, I live a life of balance. The message reads, work can be a fulfilling use of my talents and efforts. I enjoy the challenge of growing in responsibility and using my ambition to accomplish great things. Spiritual practices bring precious balance into my life. Through prayer, I touch eternity, and I feel the presence of God within. Through meditation, I focus my mind and feel calm and grounded. Through speaking affirmations, I claim divine ideas and act on inspiration. In gratitude, I find balance in God, the one presence and one power in my life. The scripture today is from the book of Job, chapter 31, verse 6. Let me be weighed in a just balance, and let God know my integrity. Now, as we move into our meditation time, for those of you who are new here, meditation is just simply another form of prayer. So please close your eyes if you're comfortable, relax in your chairs, and just listen to my voice. As we move into our time of meditation, begin to relax and let go of all the busy thoughts of this day. Take a slow, deep breath in and exhale slowly. Let go of trying to balance all the competing aspects of your life. life is unpredictable, and often we find ourselves off balance, pulled in this direction and then the next. Rest in this moment, knowing that right now you do not have to fix one single thing. Just relax and allow yourself to move deeper and deeper into this stillness. Let go and let God be your guiding light. Listen for your individual guidance and let that set every priority for your life. Be still, knowing that every answer destined for you already exists within. Your only requirement is to believe. Truly believe that you are one with Spirit. You are one with Spirit. Feel that. Believe that. Let us take these thoughts into the silence for a few moments. Now, as we slowly open our eyes and return to this space, we can continue with our day knowing that the unfinished, unbalanced, and perhaps uncooked parts of ourselves are indeed fully lovable and make us who we are in this world. God expressing as us. And so it is. Amen.
The splendor of the King, clothed in majesty. Let all the world rejoice, all the world rejoice. He wraps himself in light, and darkness trying to hide trembles at his voice, trembles at his voice.
How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. And all will see how great is our God.
Name above all names, worthy of all praise. My heart will sing, how great is our God. Name above all names, worthy of all praise. My heart will sing, how great is our God.
Everybody, how great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. All will see how great is our God.
A little softer. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. and all will see how great is our God. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. And all will see how great is our God. One more time. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. All will see how great is our God.
Nice, Michael.
Thank you, guys.
Isn't it great to have the extra depth and rhythm, and you guys rock. Seriously. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, sorry. I'm telling you, I'm going to have a dance with the, I'm just going to turn it like that. I'm just going to turn it like that there. Yeah. So, I had a really cool experience this week. I said yes. You know, I'm always telling you, say yes. Say yes to life. I said yes and ended up in Rapid City, South Dakota on Sunday night, looking at Mount Rushmore on Monday. Beautiful, beautiful, spectacular miracle that is in South Dakota. It's been on my bucket list, and my dear friend, Reverend Mindy Tucker, many of you know her, she is on her 3-month sabbatical, and she was heading through the Big Sky country, and she says, "Don't you hear Mount Rushmore calling you?" She says, "I can hear it. It's calling you." And I went, "Oh, can't do that." Because that's what I do, right? Can't do that. And I thought, wow, well, why can't I do that? My partner said, "You should go." And that's all it needed. Toothbrush, couple of T-shirts, threw it in the, got on the plane Sunday afternoon, ended up in front of Mount Rushmore on Monday, and it did not disappoint at all. It is spectacular and amazing. And then I drove with her through Montana and Wyoming, right? Is that the way it goes? Because I'm like geographically challenged. I would go to Montana first and then Wyoming. Okay. I kept having to say, I'm in Montana, yeah. And we did a 6-mile hike through Yellowstone, the Upper Geyser region, and saw Old Faithful and all kinds of things. I was right back on the plane and back here on Friday. And it was an amazing, amazing trip. It was extremely spiritual. It was, you know, Mindy, God, and me. I'd never been to that part of the world, but I can see why they call that the Big Sky country. It's just you and the universe. Absolutely spectacular. So I'm blessed in so many ways, and I know I tell you guys all the time that I'm the most abundantly blessed person I know on the planet. Even when things happen that don't make me happy, I'm still very blessed, very, very blessed. So it was a great time for me to read this book. I read it with Mindy because we had lots of hours of driving. And for the next couple of weeks, we are going through Dusk, Night, and Dawn by Anne Lamott. Dusk, Night, Dawn. She wrote the book that we studied last year, Help While Pray, 3 essential prayers. Help wow, thanks. I wrote that wrong on here. Help, wow, thanks. 3 essential prayers. So many of you are already familiar with her style of writing. She's what I would call an authentic writer. She doesn't pull any punches at all. She's a strong, strong storyteller. And some of those stories can really pull at your heart and really work your brain. She's in recovery, and recovery is deeply embedded in her writing. But at no time do I feel that she touches on any emotion or event or feeling that can't be understood by anyone who reads it. She shares her experience, strength, and hope every step of the way, and that's why I call her an authentic writer. She opens the book with a story about a young woman, 34 years old. Her name is Allie. She graduates from college and she's wandering. She's just wandering. No real direction for her life, no career focus. She's just wandering, doing what sometimes young adults do, right? Wander. One night, after being out with some friends, she drove home with an alcohol level over the legal limit, and she hit a pedestrian in the crosswalk, and he died. Being scared, she drove off. But someone saw her car and got her license plate, and so she was picked up and convicted and sent to prison for 2 years. I think that most of us in this room can agree that that's probably our worst nightmare for our children, for ourselves, for people that we know. One moment in time, one decision that changes the trajectory of your life forever. But I think that if you read the book and you read the story, you'll see that it really wasn't so much just one night. It wasn't really so much one event. Because Allie had been wandering in the wilderness. We all know what that feels like, right? When we don't really know what is our next right thing to do. When we sometimes are too afraid to make a commitment to our next movement. When we're waiting to see what happens. I love that. Well, I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see. I have a dear, dear friend. Oh, I've known her for 30 years. I adore her. And to get her to say she'll go to dinner with me Tuesday night is impossible. And I always make fun of her, thinking, you're just waiting to see if something more interesting happens between now and Tuesday. We have a tendency to wander in the wilderness, right? And Allie was doing that. But this one event changed the trajectory of her life, her entire family's life, and the family of the gentleman who died. Their whole lives. Changed it in an instant. And Allie and her family and that other family ended up in that dark night of the soul. Wandering doesn't always have to lead to the dark night of the soul, but it does very often, right? Sometimes we end up having to go to that extreme dark night of the soul before we can pick ourselves up and have the dawn. So when I look at her title, I think that Allie was wandering around in the dusk, you know, where the view to our soul is a little cloudy. I got the greatest picture of a waterfall while I was gone last week. I'll have to put it up on Facebook. Actually, I think I did. I did. And it's very hazy, but it is beautiful, but it's hazy. And that dusk, it was dusk when I took the picture. And dusk sometimes is hazy. Sometimes we can't see clearly. Sometimes we think that we know what this is. And then we have the choice to either move into the dark night of the soul or to wait until the dawn and come into the light. It doesn't always have to be the dark night of the soul. Although it took me many, many years to actually learn that to be the truth. I was one of those people who say, I only learn something if I hurt strongly. I'll only get around to changing my ways if I'm in pain. I'll only learn something through suffering. And that was true for, a good part of my life. But I have learned today that, that's not necessarily necessary. And for Allie, I want to tell you that I wouldn't tell you the story about Allie if it didn't have redemption. If there wasn't that coming into the dawn. We already know she is sitting in the dark night of the soul, man. How do you forgive yourself ever for something like that? Already being very hazy about what her soul's purpose was, to end up in prison for 2 years. Anne Lamott said in her book, she wrote that she was nearly catatonic by the time she went into prison. That where she came from, that didn't happen to girls like her. But she gets there, and there is one woman there who decides to take care of her, help her out, give her some tips of, how to take care of herself, what to do, where to go. I would say that she becomes her friend. But I know, because I know a little bit more about her from reading the book, that what she was doing was being of service. And there's probably no way at all that you'd ever look at Allie and not know that she needed a little bit of God in her life, right? So this woman starts to help Allie. And Allie starts going to meetings with her. Well, she goes to AA meetings with her. And she tells all the other women in the meeting that she's not actually an alcoholic, that she's just a social drinker with really bad luck. Not mine to judge, but Anne Lamott got a big kick out of that. And through going to those meetings, it would get her out of her cell for a few hours a week, and she would actually go and spend some time with women who laughed, women who hugged one another, women who cared for one another. And so these women, what they did for her was care about her until she was able to care about herself. They were able, over time, by sharing their experience, strength, and hope, and by sharing who they are and what they had done and how they got from here to here, so that Allie had the opportunity to put her life at this point in some kind of perspective. What happened was Allie began to know herself. She started that journey of self-discovery that we all go through. All of us who seek that inner knowledge. It's part of the program. Allie may not have signed up for it, but she ended up right in the middle of it, with women who allowed her to be who she was and loved her exactly how she was, until she had the opportunity to love herself, which happened, I know for myself, little by little by little. There were a lot of things in my lifetime that I could look back on and be very sad about. And I know that all of us have things in our lives that we can be sad about. things that I regretted I did, things that I wish I would have done differently or someone else would have done differently. But over time, myself, just like Allie, had the opportunity to get to know who I am. And I think one of the strongest pieces that we need to understand when we're trying to allow ourselves forgiveness, self-forgiveness. We need to understand that what we do or what we did is not who we are. It's just what we did. And we can make a different choice every single time. We are not those bad behaviors. We are not those bad feelings. We're not that mean girl or whatever yours might be. Those are just things that we did for one reason or the other, and we had the opportunity to figure out why it is we acted that way. What is it that brought me from here to here? And we can usually, when we get quiet and we pray and we listen to other people share with us, we can usually get there and go, okay, well, you know, maybe I'm a little self-serving. You know, maybe I truly do at this moment in my life care about myself more than you, and that brought me right here, right? Well, after about a year, Allie'd been sober. She'd been going to those meetings. She'd made friends. Her and her friend got to take on a service job like cleaning up the environment, taking care of the surroundings. She was given that job through the Department of Corrections, but it allowed her to be out and about. You know, they did have a team lead and a chief that they hung out with, but they got to do things to help give back to the community. What a gift. I tell you all the time that the quickest way to get centered and right with God is service to others. Move right into service of others, and you'll learn so much about yourself. But so she got the opportunity to do this. And one day, while they were picking up debris from something, you know, an event that had happened, a big storm or whatever it was, she found, what animal was it? A coyote, thank you. I knew that Rick and I had been talking about the book this week, so I knew he knew what it was. She found this baby coyote that had lost its mother and was buried under the debris, and she found it, and she took it to her chief, and they figured out who to call to come and get it and take care of it. But the chief said to everybody, look what Ali Baba found. And so the question that Anne asks in the book is, the chief called a wildlife rescue organization and brought them the baby when work was done for the day. How is it possible to go from being convict D53789 to Ali Baba? How do you get from there to here? From maximum shame and cowardice to protector of baby coyotes and her newborn sober self, both worthy to be saved. Something had to have happened. Something had to have opened. It was her heart and her soul, right? Our soul is an accumulation of every idea that lies behind any manifestation that we make. We accumulate everything that we've ever done, everything we've ever felt, everything we've ever thought, and it lives alive in our soul. It is that eternal part of us that gives us that unique expression of God. Sometimes it's conscious, sometimes it's subconscious, sometimes it's straight from God, but it all lives in our soul. So something opened up. I love something that Lamott says in the book. She said sometimes our soul gets really hazy. Excuse me, I wanted to get her quote. Lamott calls it grubby fingerprints all over everything, our hearts, minds, and hopes. And then she asks, what would Windex for the soul look like? I thought, how cool is that? Wouldn't it be nice if we just had a little bottle and we could just whoop, whoop, whoop. But isn't that kind of what happened? Through that process of self-discovery, through that process of redemption. And I tell you, redemption is available for all of us. Every single day. We can seek redemption for something we did 30 seconds ago or something we did 30 years ago. It's available. We need to allow our souls to be seen, allow our souls to be touched by others, and allow our soul to be headed for the betterment of all those around us. You know, I said earlier that it's not necessary to go all the way to the bottom. People in recovery use the expression hitting bottom. Have you hit your bottom yet? Not yet. I'll be back after not yet. There is this one page, I know sometimes I read to you all from the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and there's this one page in there that doesn't have a page number, and it is the page that comes before the stories in the book from people who didn't have to go to jail and deliriums and psych wards and lose their jobs. People that didn't have to go that far to find their bottom. And this is the lead into it. It says, among today's incoming members, many have never reached the advanced stages of alcoholism though given time they may have. Most of these fortunate ones have had little or no acquaintance with delirium, with hospitals, asylums, or jails. Some were drinking heavily, and there had been occasional serious episodes, but many drinking had been little more than a sometimes uncontrollable nuisance. Seldom had any of these lost either health, business, family, or friends. Why do men and women like this join? They sum it up something like this. We didn't wait to hit bottom because, thank God, we could see the bottom. Actually, the bottom came up and hit us. Self-discovery, awareness, mindfulness, prayer, meditation, service to others. Why is everybody looking at me like that? You know, I always wonder, what am I doing wrong? Oh, it's Maya's turn. Yay, Maya! Beautiful. We are abundantly prospered and divinely blessed. So this is the time in our celebration where we celebrate our prosperity with our gifts, our tithes, and our love offerings. For those of you in the building, we do have a basket up front we're not passing yet. And for those of you online, you can go out on our Facebook page and donate, or you can go out on our website, unityonthespacecoast.org, and click on the donate button. But let's take all of the energy of all of those gifts and tithes, pull it all together, hold it either virtually or for real in your hand. And if you're giving with somebody else, share that energy. And let's say our blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, for the joy of giving and receiving. And so it is. Amen. Mother, Father, God, we know that this offering is the very substance of your being, and that it was created for us before the world was even formed. We know, acknowledge, and affirm that according to your perfect law, it returns to each giver heaped up, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And for an increased understanding of this perfect law, we do give thanks. And so it is. Amen.
Do it again. One more time. Swing low, sweet chariot. There it is. Keep going.
Take your time, girl.
There it is.
There it is.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. You know, I looked over Jordan, Lord, what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels are coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Everybody sing. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Here's the truth. Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down, coming for to carry me home. But still my soul, she's a heavenly bound, coming for to carry me home. If I get there before I do, coming for to carry me home. I like this one. I'll cut a hole and I'll pull you through, coming for to carry me home. Everybody swing. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Okay. If you get there before I do, tell all my friends I'm a-coming too, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home, coming for to carry me home. One more. coming for to carry me home.
Yoo-hoo! Eric and Daniel, everybody.
Yay.
Yay! That's awesome. All right. I'd like to welcome any newcomers that are here for the very first time or back from being gone a while. We'd love to welcome you back. We have newcomer packets in the back that we'd love to give you. It's got information about our ministry. It also has a form you can fill out and give us some information about yourself. If you take that form to the bookstore, stand up for it. Miss Michelle will take that form and she'll give you a free gift. We have a free gift for you in the bookstore. And the bookstore's open, by the way. And it has books, the Anne Lamott book, if you'd like to buy it to read. It's in the bookstore as well. So, if you are online, then please send an email or go to contact us and let me know that you'd like me to give you a call. I'd love to tell you about our ministry and Unity as a whole. Also, if you call the church, chances are I'm going to answer. And then I'd be happy to tell you all about it. Now, we love to pray in Unity. We pray a lot. We have prayer chaplains that are here available today to pray with you. They are going to be on the front corner here to pray with you after service, one-on-one. It could be something that you want to celebrate, or it could be something you need support with. But we'd love to pray with you. Online, you can send your prayer requests from the website or message us from Facebook. Either way, we'd love to put your prayer in our prayer list and pray with you. And then afterward, we send those prayers to Unity in Missouri. And they have this fabulous prayer ministry that's been going on for 130 years, 24 hours a day, 365 days out of the year, nonstop for over 125 years. There's a lot of prayer that go into that. And those prayers will stay with them for 30 days. So we'd love to support you that way. We have upcoming, I already told you about World Day of Prayer. That's on September 8th and 9th. Unity.org is how you would register for that. Love to see as many of you as possible. The other thing that's coming up, I don't know if you guys have seen any of the announcements, but starting the last week of September, September 29th, that Wednesday night, we start a Unity community. We've got Unity of Merritt Island, Unity on the Space Coast, Unity of Orlando, CCU. We've got Unity of Daytona, thank you. And we have the CSL Church. Yes, Kathy Beasley's church, Reverend Kathy Beasley. We all know Reverend Kathy Beasley, and I'm just getting letters mixed up. But in Winter Park, her church as well. We're all coming together to do a series on the 4 agreements. I love the 4 agreements. They're simple, easy, and really, really hard to do. We're going to do starting September 29th. Each Wednesday night, one of the ministers will take the night and teach that particular agreement. And then on Sundays, each of the ministers will give the talks on Sunday in their own churches. So we'd love to have everybody participate on it. We're going to have a group here if you'd like to come and be live, or we'll also have it online. So start paying attention to the announcements and mark your calendar starting September 29th. All right, let's all stand and sing our peace song. 1, 2, 3.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with our family in perfect harmony. be the moment now.
Right now.
With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Yay, Maya.
Stayed on spirit. Stayed on spirit. Oh, let's say our affirmation together.
Yay.
With
With
God,
God,
I live a life of balance. And so it is. I love you. Have a wonderful week. Mwah.
That will stay. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. You know, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind, 'cause I'm stayed on spirit. Hallelujah.
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 Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Yeah, let's hear it for the boys. Let's hear it for Maya.
Yay, Maya. Woo.
Nice
Good
music
job.
today, people.
Really
Thank
good
you.
job.